Hey students, today we are going to be covering chapter number 1, Atoms, Molecules and Chemical Arithmetic of Chemistry and NIOS. Let's start with the introduction, and today's video we are going to be focusing only on the introduction. Now, in the introduction we can learn a lot of things. The first thing we can learn in the introduction is the definition of chemistry. The definition of chemistry. The second thing we can learn from the introduction is why is chemistry important? Why is chemistry important? The third thing we can learn from the introduction is the concept of mole, or just understanding a brief about mole. Why do we need the concept of mole? And finally we can learn fourth is stoichiometry. Fourth thing we can learn is stoichiometry. Fourth thing we can learn is stoichiometry. Now, let us start with the first and the foremost topic, that is the definition of chemistry. Now, the first line of our textbook defines what chemistry is. Now look closely. Chemistry is the study of matter and the changes it undergoes. Okay, what is matter? Matter is everything in our surrounding. Okay, everything in our surrounding consists of matter. So the study of almost everything in our surrounding means the items, elements, things in our surrounding, and the changes it undergoes is chemistry. Okay, so that is our definition of chemistry. So what is chemistry? If I ask what is chemistry, this is the answer that you should write. Now the next thing is, why is chemistry important? The next topic we are going to be covering is, why is chemistry important? Now, chemistry is important because it obviously understanding matter around us is very important. Why? Because we need to learn how matter affects daily life. Even cooking is a form of chemistry. How? Because in cooking we are dealing with different sort of matter, right? So in order to understand how things around us work, in order to develop new things, in order to create new creations to make our life easy, we need chemistry, right? So chemistry plays a very important role, a pivotal role in many areas of science as well. It plays role in health, medicine, energy, environment, food, agriculture, and new materials, and many more things. Okay, and also that's the first point. The first point is that it plays an important role in our daily life, right? Chemistry is needed to play an important role in our daily life. Okay, so we need to understand the things around us in order to use them, right? And the second point is that basic knowledge of chemistry is necessary to study many subjects such as biology, physics, geology, ecology, and many more subjects. So without the basic knowledge of chemistry, you won't be able to learn biology, physics, geology, and many other subjects. So it is also called central science. Due to this, it is also called central science. So that is why chemistry is important in our daily life. Now, since we understood what chemistry is and why is it important in our daily life, let us understand the next topic. The next topic being a brief introduction to mole concept, or why do we need mole concept. There's nothing, we're not going to be diving deep into mole concept. We'll be diving deep into the mole concept further into the chapter, but we just need to understand what mole is and why do we need it. Okay, so now atoms in our surrounding, which is matter is made of atoms and molecules, right? So atoms in our surrounding, they're very small, they're very tiny, that we can barely see them, right? So any sample of matter which we studied, they contain large number of atoms. So the first thing you need to know is that in a chemical reaction, atoms or molecules combine with one another in a definite number ratio. What do you mean by definite number ratio? Means atoms and molecules. See, a chemical reaction only happens when atoms and molecules interact with each other, right? That's how the matter changes. So in a chemical reaction, these atoms and molecules, they combine with each other in a definite number ratio, meaning they combine it with each other in a whole number. Okay, so and it's a fixed whole number for everything. For example, in H2O, hydrogen is 2, oxygen is 1. No matter where you find water, no matter where you find water in the world, which is its chemical formula is H2O, water will always be mixed in the ratio 2:1. That is the ratio of water. No matter where you go, this is the definite number. It's a whole number and it is fixed. So this is a definite number ratio. If you slightly change this, then you will get if you slightly change 1 to 2 or 2 to 1 or anything like that, you will get a totally different material or a totally different matter. So what we understood here is that in a chemical reaction, atoms or molecules, they always interact with each other in a whole number. They don't interact in 1.2 something like that. They interact with each other in a whole number ratio. So that is what we understood from definite number ratio. Now let's understand what mole is. Okay, so now again let's go back to what we understood before. We understood that atoms and molecules are very tiny, small, and there are in matter there is maybe millions of atoms. Okay, depends on the matter, right? So to understand this, to specify the total number of atoms, to understand them, to express them, to calculate them, we need something known as mole. It's a number unit. For example, we have eggs, 12 eggs. Instead of saying 12 eggs, you say a dozen of eggs. Or you have bananas, 12 bananas. You say a dozen of bananas. To make it easy, if somebody says you a dozen, you understand it is 12, right? When somebody says you, I have a dozen of eggs, you don't ask them what is dozen. You understand dozen means 12. Same like that in chemistry, in order to make it easy, we have something known as mole. Mole is basically dozen. It's not 12. It has a different value. Mole has a different value. But to understand it, to understand numbers of atoms and molecules, because it's a very large number and we have to deal with a lot, we use the concept of mole. Okay, so what does mole help us? With the concept of mole, it is possible to take a desired number of atoms and molecule by weighing. This is how mole helps us. Okay, it helps us, the concept of mole helps us take desired number of atoms. Again, we are calculating the numbers of atom, right? So with mole concept, it is possible to take desired number of atoms by and molecules by weighing. Now let's go to our last topic, which is stoichiometry. What is stoichiometry? Stoichiometry is the term we use to refer to all the quantitative aspects of chemical compounds and reaction. All the quantitative aspects of chemical compounds and reaction. What does this mean? This means that we need a term, like we have mathematics. What is mathematics? Mathematics is a term that we use to describe calculations in daily life, right? Same like that, stoichiometry is basically a term we use to refer to all the numbers. Quantitative meaning all the numbers. So stoichiometry is basically a word we use to describe all the numbers or the quantitative aspects of chemical compounds and reactions. That's all. Stoichiometry is nothing big, and that is all for our topic today.